Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Vedanta Agarwal. Our lead story, well, a major cabinet rejig in Tamil Nadu. And the focus, of course, is on Udhayanidhi Stalin, who has now been elevated as the Deputy Chief Minister on the state. Even though he did not take oath today because he's already the minister, he served, or he appeared to be, a dutiful deputy to his father. Take a look at this report.
Tamil Nadu Sports Minister Udhayanidhi Stalin elevated as Deputy Chief Minister in his father M.K. Stalin's cabinet. His portfolio made meaty, adding planning and development to his sports and youth welfare already in his kitty. DMK leader Senthil Balaji too, back in the cabinet 3 days after he walked out of jail. He spent 15 months in jail in a money laundering case before the Supreme Court granted him bail. Senthil Balaji is back as the electricity minister with an addition of the excise and prohibition portfolio. Udhayanidhi Stalin, a first-time MLA and former actor, superseded several veteran leaders in the cabinet to become his father Stalin's deputy. The move, DMK sources say, equips the party to take on popular star actor Vijay with a huge fan following, who's set to make his electoral debut in 2026 elections in Tamil Nadu.
அந்த வார்த்தைகளுக்கெல்லாம் நன்றி தெரிவிச்சுக்கிறேன். நிறைய பேர் விமர்சனம் செய்கிறாங்க. அந்த விமர்சனங்களுக்கும் சேர்த்து என்னுடைய நன்றியை நான் தெரிவிச்சுக்கிறேன். கண்டிப்பா ஒவ்வொரு வாழ்த்துக்களை எப்படி நான் உள்வாங்கிக் கொள்கிறோனோ அதே மாதிரி விமர்சனங்களையும் உள்வாங்கி அதில் தவறுகள் இருந்தால் திருத்திக்கிறதுக்கும் என்னுடைய பணிகள் இன்னும் சிறப்பாக அமைவதற்கும்.
The key opposition AIADMK calls this dynastic politics.
The elevation of Prince Udhayanidhi as Deputy Chief Minister signals and marks the end of DMK in Tamil Nadu going forward. The upcoming Assembly 2026, DMK is all set to split into different factions with couple of seniors going to revolt against these decisions. This is a clear example of dynasty in the name of democracy.
DMK sources reject criticism on dynastic politics. They argue Udhayanidhi was democratically elected as MLA and his campaign played a key role in the DMK alliance's sweep in 2019 and 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Besides the party's return to power in the state after a decade, he, they argue, had also strengthened the party's youth wing, besides making Chennai an international sporting hub from chess Olympiad to Formula 4 racing as sports minister. Unlike Karunanidhi, who had groomed his son M.K. Stalin to earn his leadership through the political grind as mayor, MLA, minister and deputy chief minister, Udhayanidhi Stalin's elevation is fast-tracked. The big question, is this social justice the party claims to stand for, or is it a mockery of democracy, keeping power within the family? In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
So, well, this has certainly sparked the dynasty debate yet again. But moving now to the other big headline, the Jammu and Kashmir campaign has come to a close. It has been a high-stakes, high-voltage campaign with bigwigs on the campaign trail, and now the countdown to the final phase has begun. Mallikarjun Kharge fell sick on the campaign stage. In fact, the latest coming in, the Prime Minister has also spoken to him about his health, and this also comes after his jibe at the Prime Minister. He said that, well, I may be 83, but I will not die till the time the Prime Minister is removed from his chair. Take a look.
Last-ditch efforts by political parties to woo voters on the last day of campaigning for Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, who was campaigning in Kathua district of Jammu region, falls ill during his speech. But as he resumed his address after medical consultations, Kharge took a jab at the Prime Minister and blamed BJP that it would have never allowed elections in Jammu and Kashmir if Supreme Court had not directed to hold polls.
चाहे कुछ भी हो, मैं ऐसा ही छोड़ने वाला नहीं. अब मेरे को तो 83 years चल रहे, इतना जल्दी मरने वाला नहीं हूँ.
The last and third phase of polling for Jammu and Kashmir Assembly will be held on Tuesday. 23 seats in Jammu region and 17 seats in North Kashmir will go to polls. as Jammu holds key to BJP's performance. Top BJP leaders including Prime Minister campaigning aggressively to retain its core constituency. BJP is also eyeing some seats in border areas of Kashmir Valley. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh concluded his election campaigning in Gurez constituency near LOC. He said Indian government could have offered a larger bailout package to Pakistan than IMF if Pakistan had maintained a good relationship with India.
We have seen here today political parties are trying their best to woo voters in this election. Sir, क्या है इस election के मुद्दे जिनकी बुनियाद पे
सर जी मुद्दे ये बहुत हैं तो बीजेपी से हम चाहते हैं अगर इनकी सरकार बनती है तो ये पेंशन जो बंद की हुई है इन्होंने जो पेंशनें बंद की हुई हैं उनको लागू करे दोबारा
लोगों का काम धंधा बंद है और पब्लिक के साथ भी डीलिंग रखें उनका भी सोचें जब कोई
वोट देंगे मोदी को मगर काम धंधा यहाँ बंद है जम्मू में दैट हैज बीन द बिगेस्ट कंप्लेन ऑफ द पीपल इन जम्मू that their trade, their business has suffered a great deal, and we see here talking about Agniveer, talking about employment and talking about other issues, and you see both sides of the divide aisle, Congress and BJP are fighting in this particular area of Jammu.
In some areas of Kashmir Valley, killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon impacted the last day of campaigning. PDP President Mehbooba Mufti cancelled campaigning in solidarity with Hezbollah leader, but Omar Abdullah continued campaigning in northern Kashmir. As the campaigning ends after a fierce electioneering across the Jammu and Kashmir, the final and the third phase holds key, especially for BJP and Congress, and the polling in Jammu will be keenly watched by all sides. With Nazir Masoodi, Bureau Report, NDTV.
And from Jammu and Kashmir to poll-bound Haryana, well, the rebel trouble continues for both the BJP and the Congress. In fact, the BJP, in a major crackdown, has now expelled 8 rebels, including a former minister who was up against Chief Minister Nayab Singh Saini as an independent. Remember, the BJP rebels had said that loyalists have been ignored and turncoats have been rewarded in ticket distribution. What does this really mean? What are the political ramifications? My colleague Vasudha Venugopal has the latest.
This is the BJP central leadership saying that, showing that it will not basically tolerate any rebellion of sorts, and that these elections are very serious and it takes them very seriously. So we did see that, Nayab Singh Saini and also Mr. Badroli, the president of BJP Haryana, and so lots of central leaders also reached out to the dissenting people, to those who were upset that they did not get tickets. We also saw people like Dharmendra Pradhan and Biplab Deb, who are, in charges for the elections of Haryana Assembly polls, also reach out to some of them and actually have a lot of meetings. And the ones who did not agree with the party's line, they were all told very firmly that they have to campaign only for the party's official candidate. So that did not happen, at least in these cases. So clearly, if you see, there is also Ranjit Chautala, who had joined the BJP a few years ago. He was a minister there and he was not really given a ticket, and he wanted it from Rania. And then he has basically filed his nomination as an independent candidate. There's also Naveen Goyal, whose campaign was actually becoming quite famous, because he was basically pointing out to the BJP's failures in converting Gurugram into a smart city. He was promising to change the future and face of Gurugram. So he has also been suspended for 6 years. Apart from that, Sandeep Garg, who was an independent, he was challenging Nayab Singh Saini, the chief minister himself from the Ladwa constituency. So he has also been suspended. Apart from that, there is also Devendra Kadian, who's also reasonably seen as a popular candidate. So some of them are basically, they were challenging the BJP candidates. They were seen as a little bit serious independents, but mostly this is BJP sending out a very serious message to all its rebel candidates and independents, and not wanting to, repeat a situation that happened in Himachal Pradesh elections, if you remember, where the rebels and the independents actually caused the BJP a lot of damage. So this is BJP, cutting its damage, cutting its losses. And remember, the Congress also faces a challenge of this sort because BJP and Congress, this is going to be a direct face-off between the BJP and Congress, while there are many regional parties, also NLT, JJP and all. There's a feeling that it's going to be a bipolar contest. So we did see Congress also suspending people like Chitra Sarwara, who had filed an independent form as from Ambala Kant. So this is BJP taking serious action against rebels and those threatening the chances of the BJP in the state.
And well, moving now to rain fury in the east. Well, in Nepal, landslides triggered by heavy rain have killed over 100 people. In fact, 110 people have died in the latest. Many people are still missing. Meanwhile, in neighboring Bihar as well, there is a real flood threat with coast. And with that, we'll slip into a short break now, but news continues on the other side. Welcome back. The latest on India-France defense cooperation. Well, France has submitted its final price offer for the 26 Rafale jet deal. Now, remember, what we are being given to understand is that there has been a significant price reduction that has been offered by France as well. Now, remember this, as India and France have only been growing closer in terms of defense partnership, and this 26 Rafale deal can really be a game changer when it comes to the bilateral relations between India and France. And moving now to the other big headline, West Asia is on edge, and this as the world leaders are watching with caution. US has in fact bolstered its military presence in West Asia as well. In fact, the Russian Prime Minister is also set to meet the Iran president. Let me go across to my colleague Mohammad Ghazali. So Ghazali, world leaders watching with caution, West stepping in. This as US has said that it's in complete support of Israel and its right to defend.
Yeah, lots of developments emerging in the last 24 hours. First, the Secretary Austin, he issued a statement saying that he has been receiving updates from and providing guidance to his team throughout the weekend on the latest developments in Middle East, and also stressed the fact that U.S. will always stand by Israel for its security, as well as the military bases, the defense bases of U.S. in other Middle Eastern countries. Because right after the reports emerged that Hassan Nasrallah, the Hezbollah chief, has been killed, there were protests across Middle East in many countries where Hezbollah had presence, or even where they had no presence. People came out on the streets to mourn his death. And there were protests outside U.S. security bases as well in certain countries. So keeping in view these developments, the defense secretary has issued this statement. And also, Russian Prime Minister will be traveling to Iran. So that is also a lot of the Middle East watchers are keeping an eye on, because Russia and China have now openly criticized Israel for what they have done in Lebanon, the attacks on the civilian facilities. And both the countries have also, at least Russia has criticized U.S. as well, saying that Israel is attacking, or that's a criminal act which Israel has carried out with the support of United States. So these developments are emerging right now. The situation still remains tense in Middle East, though Iran has not hinted for any retaliation due to the killing, to avenge the killing of Hassan Nasrallah.
Also, Ghazali, going forward, what can be the sort of diplomatic efforts now? Because it almost seems that it's an untenable situation as far as West Asia is concerned. The US, of course, siding with Israel as it has since the beginning of the conflict. But the fact is that the situation is only getting more serious by the minute.
See, the back channel talks in Middle East always remains open. Whenever US or even UK had to carry out these back channel talks, there are enough players in Middle East who have always been that mediator. So even as far as the developing situation is concerned, it was expected that perhaps Iran will now step up to the occasion to directly drag itself into the war, but the sober response as of now from Iran with no military action is expected. And that is the chance the Western leaders are sniffing to push for a hard ceasefire deal with Iran and at large with Hamas in Gaza as well. So US President Mr. Joe Biden is keeping an eye. So far, it has been a big challenge for the United States to ensure that Mr. Netanyahu accepts the peace proposal. But now, perhaps after allowing Israel to go ahead with this particular attack and to de-escalate the situation, US will certainly push for a big, hard deal for a ceasefire at both fronts.
Absolutely, and Ghazali, stay on with us, because as you said, there are parallel developments taking place as far as the story is concerned. In fact, the latest that is coming in is that Israel has now struck military camps and areas belonging to the Houthis, and so of course after its war in Hezbollah, Israel is now going for the Houthis. Ghazali continues to be with us. So Ghazali, Israel has said that we will wipe out anything that poses a threat to the country. So it seems like an all-out war situation already.
Yes, so it certainly shows that whatever credibility or intelligence failure which Israel faced due to October 7 attack, Israel is also like building up or sort of demolishing that narrative that it was weak intelligence or Israel's intelligence has got weaker, and now they're taking out one by one all those threats who have been attacking or were hostile to Israel since October 7. So Houthis, just a couple of days ago when Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, returned or was on the way from the United States back to Israel, Houthis had launched a missile towards the Tel Aviv or Ben Gurion airport in Tel Aviv. And that is when, if you see the retaliation now that Israel has started attacking, and I missed mentioning this, that even United States State Department's statement had mentioned that how US says that it will stand by Israel for its defense with deterrence and diplomacy. So this has come out for the first time, perhaps, when US was being criticized for giving unchecked aid to Israel, while it is being accused of carrying out human rights violations as well. And United States was also being accused of allowing the situation to escalate. So now perhaps it appears that it is moving in that direction, and Israel will be allowed to strike on all its hostile partners there or neighbors there, like Shiite militia in Iraq and the recent attack on Houthis in Yemen.
Absolutely, Ghazali. Thanks very much for joining us with that perspective there. So parallel developments taking place, just as Israel has said that it will go for everything that is against its territorial integrity. With that, we'll take a short break now. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.